Well, hello. Um, yes, this is me. It's been a while. Honestly, it's actually been, I want to say, Yoga Fest in Asheville was the end of July of last year. So it's been, how many months? About five, six, actually six or 7 months since I've done a video. And boy, oh boy, do we have some things to talk about. I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. I may have to do another video, but more than likely, I'll probably just say whatever I don't cover in this one for March. Um, by the way, Happy New Year to all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. I felt like this year I would be more intentional, but so much has happened in my life, and I've shared via social media. But here I kind of just want to give like the clip notes or like a summary. So, since the Asheville Yoga Fest, there was a trip to New York that I took to celebrate my then husband's mother's 80th birthday. It was a blast. We had the ultimate blended family, like link up. Like it was just so amazing for all of us to be there to celebrate her and for her to be so happy in that moment. And then August came, got the boys in school, got them settled. Luckily, this last fall, I was able to. I think many of you follow me on Instagram and knew that the year before I wasn't able to have the boys really support each other in back to school. Christopher's always been there since Sean has been living with his father to travel with me to be there on his first day of school. So this year was different. Last fall was different. We were able to do that. So we shared that. September, I quit my job at the Atlanta Voice newspaper. I was ready to move on to some other business opportunities, things that were going on with Fans Favorite Fan at the time that were moving very, very fast. But then life happens. I got really, really sick, and my doctor suggested that I didn't travel. So around this time was when college football was getting started. So I had to sit out like 2 weekends of not traveling to cover any college football games. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is our biggest like season. This is when we really make our money. And the last Saturday of the month, I was able to travel to Tampa and cover a game there and spend some time with my son Sean. And Sean said something to me there when I was there that I was just like, nah, that ain't it. I was already feeling sick since I had quit my job, and I thought it was because I was extremely scared about like not having like security in a job, like just knowing that a check is coming, knowing that if I put in this many hours I'm gonna get this, or knowing that the opportunities that I was getting while working in that position, that I felt like I wasn't gonna be able to do anywhere else. But Sean made a comment. He was like, "Mom, I think you're pregnant." And I was just like, and then his stepmom, she made a comment. She said she dreamed that I was having a girl. And, we were all like laughing about it. But at the time, I was really, really sick. My body was going through a lot of changes. I couldn't keep food down. And a week later, I found out I was pregnant. Now, during this time, my divorce has been finalized. So, imagine finding out you're pregnant after your divorce. And you're like, what am I do now? yeah, talked to my ex. We made a decision. He's been so supportive. I love him very much for that. And we were moving on. Well, as we were moving on, come to find out, for me being 35, having a baby at this time, I was considered to be high risk. My pregnancy was considered to be high risk. And I laughed at my OBGYN at the time because I was like, what does that mean? Like, I'm vegan, I live a healthy lifestyle, like, I'm okay. And I had to learn throughout this pregnancy that high risk can mean many things, and it may not have anything to do with your lifestyle. It may not have anything to do with how you eat. It's just, with me having this baby and this baby needing all of the things that it needs and what it's causing in my body, I had to adapt to that. So, yeah, went through October, got through that, dealt with a lot of heartache and just a lot of like things that set me back mentally, but I was still holding on. November came and I made a drastic move early because my lease was going to be up in January of 2019. So I was like, no, I got to find me a place before then because I'm pregnant and I don't want to be further along trying to move and blah, blah, blah. So God really blessed me in that moment because I literally found a place on, I think it was Trulia, I think I'm saying it right, .com, and it was listed, and the very next day I was able to come and see it, and there were like 3 or 4 other people that were wanting it, and the lady literally took it off the market, because I was willing to get my paperwork in as soon as possible, like I said I would, like literally that day. And then I paid towards like a security deposit. Like, I was just like, I was so, because I was like, listen, if this place looks like the pictures, like for real, and many of you all know, if you're looking for a place online and you go check it out, 90% of the time you are disappointed. When I tell y'all this place was legit, I was like, as soon as I walked in the door, what I gotta do to secure this space? And yeah, she was like, they're moving out in like a week. When do you want to move in? They normally move people in the beginning of the month, of course. But I was like, no, I want to move in a little bit after the 15th, like before the holiday. And that was Thanksgiving. And she made it happen. So my mom came down and helped me with a lot of the unpacking because I had great movers. They were the same movers who helped me in my first place that I moved into after my separation from my marriage. And so here it was, I'm divorced, I'm moving on, and I'm pregnant, and they're helping me, so it's like this loyalty and just this friendship that I have with these guys, and they were great. So I got settled. Thanksgiving came around, and I was thankful for Thanksgiving, and I was getting through Thanksgiving. Well, a little bit before Thanksgiving, I found out that I had triploidy, and it's something that I've dealt with, and it was very, very hard because at one point in time, me and my ex had to decide whether or not we were going to abort the baby or not. Now, I've already had 2 abortions, 1 miscarriage. I have 2 sons. And so in my mind, I just could not wrap my head at this point, mentally having another abortion and trying to deal with the aftermath of that. And actually finding out, because I was so much further along, I actually found out the gender of the baby, and the baby was a girl. And I was like, oh God, no, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I can't, because if God wants me to have her, I want to have her. And that was that. Then about a week after Thanksgiving, we found out that it really wasn't triploidy. My blood test just came back just abnormal and all of that, and that there was nothing to worry about with that. But I was still dealing with like extreme nausea, vomiting a lot, and things like that. So, got into December. Things with fans, favorite fan, completely slowed down. Now, things were consistent because I had people in different places doing things, but it was hard because at this time, with me being ready to branch out to do my thing, I was supposed to step up and really like be the spokesperson for my company, and I couldn't do it. So I would have loved to been on the sidelines, pregnant, just being a visual of women's empowerment. Like, I'm gonna do this job and I'm pregnant, but I could not be somewhere for more than an hour or two without feeling sick or getting to a point where whatever I ate, it wasn't going to stay down. So, Christmas came around, spent Christmas with family, blended family. That was the best time because one of Christopher's, Christmas wishes was to have, all of his siblings together, as well as his father's, first wife, and myself, and just, have Sean here. And we had Sean here. So that was great. And then going into January was my birthday. I turned 35. I got up enough energy to celebrate, my 35th birthday, which took a lot because I had a dinner on my actual birthday with my family and a few close friends. And then I had a friend's dinner um, on the 4th. And that meant a lot to me to spend some time with people who genuinely support me and have been there through the bumps, and really have not judged me through everything. So I wanted to, in some way, tell them all thank you and all of that during that time. Well, January, got through January pretty good, but then when February 1st hit, it's a wrap. You currently see me in a hospital gown. I've been in and out of the hospital at least once a month since I found out I was pregnant, whether it be emergency room visits or hospital stays. Now, before February, the most I probably stayed in the hospital was maybe a night or two. And that was just to give me fluids because I was dehydrated, my blood pressure was low or high, and they wanted to monitor me for the night. Then February hits, and it's like I'm finding out that I have gestational diabetes. Then I'm finding out, like I had this crazy episode where I fell out and I had a seizure like episode. And, thank God for the young lady that was around me, Aaliyah, good friend of mine. She's the person who does my wax and my facials and stuff. So she was around me at the time and she knew what to do in that moment, and she saved my life. Um, they couldn't figure out why I was having headaches, why I was having this seizure like episode and all of that. So I stayed in the hospital for like a week. Got out of the hospital, was home for about a week. Not even a week, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 nights. And that weekend, I had another episode, same thing, but a little bit worse. And my cousin Monique was here with me because I had called her the night before to come by, and had that episode again, and it was worse. And right when they got me to the hospital, it was like they thought it was a seizure, they thought it was a stroke, ruled out both of those things, and then I think it was because I went in late. It was like early Sunday morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning. And they were trying to discharge me by Tuesday without telling us anything again. And my mom was there at the hospital, and it was like, hey, can you guys do a physical therapy consult on her so that I will know that she's ambulatory to move around at home when she's by herself? Y'all, they did this test on me where I was supposed to walk down the hall. I couldn't even halfway walk because I was out of breath and my oxygen levels were low. So they brought me back to my room. The PT stated to the doctor that she couldn't clear me for discharge. So then they did a CT scan on my chest. They found out that I had pulmonary embolisms in my chest. And so here it is, I've got blood clots, and that's probably what's been causing all of these episodes and things that have been going on. And so now, not only am I um, testing myself daily about, my gestational diabetes, because I failed my glucose test, my 1 hour glucose test, and my 3 hour glucose test. Failed both of those things. But now I'm having to be on blood thinners. And oh my God, the things that went through my mind, I'm like, so many Black women, um, we talk about our pain in hospitals, and when we talk to our doctors about what we're going through, and they try to minimize how we feel. And literally, like that Tuesday before, the talk of doing the PT consult and all of that OBGYN walked in and he told me to my face, there's nothing wrong with you, we're gonna take you off the IV meds and we're gonna put you on pills and we're gonna get you ready for discharge. But then here comes this PT consult where I'm out of breath. Like I can't walk. Like right now I'm about out of breath from doing all this talking. But it's hard enough um, going through all of the many changes that I've gone through in this pregnancy. And it's been one of those things where I didn't understand why I had to go through it. And I'm not questioning God, but I'm kind of like, I know he's doing this for a reason. I'm trying to figure it out. So I've been sharing my story on Instagram as well as Facebook and Twitter. And many of you have been very supportive, but I just want you all to know that it's very, very hard, for someone like me in this moment who, I was on track. September was supposed to be my month. Like it was going to be raw. And I had already, started um, my year 2019 and, just getting some things going. And I still had that. But the thing that hurt the most was just that knowing that this pregnancy was really taking me down and it was breaking me down and it was preparing me um, to be a mother again. It was preparing me to be this woman who needs to be strong for her family. It was preparing me to be vulnerable and to tell people like, listen, no, this is what I'm feeling. You have to acknowledge how I'm feeling. And it has been a very hurtful process. So that kind of gets you caught up with everything that I've been going through, since at the Asheville Yoga Festival of last year, which was July 2018. Yeah. Um, but I'm pretty sure March is gonna be a better month, a better video. I am technically about almost 8 months pregnant, and she is very active. Her name is Grace. Good Lord. I am just praying that we can get through this and get ready for April when she's due. So, again, thank you for your support. I hope that you will continue. These videos will get better, but just getting you caught up on what's been happening in my life and the breaks of things. It's been hard. It's been very, very hard. But doing this video has been very therapeutic, and writing about what I'm going through has been very therapeutic. And I know I'll be okay when it's over with.